It is Tuesday, August the 4th. Yeah, August 4th. Um, Happy Tuesday to whoever is watching, whether you're watching live or you're watching later. All good. Thank you for coming through. I have been getting bit by the bugs in random places. Like, I just got one on my kneecap. I got one on my like inner arm. Um, I am fresh off of my birthday weekend, and although my birthday may be over, it is still Leo season. Thank you. Like on Smashburger. That's funny. um, so if you just heard that, it's telling me to tell somebody to put their seatbelt on, but there's nobody else in the car with me. And as you can see, I'm wearing my seatbelt. The problem is I have some things in my front seat that I think is making the sensor believe that there's a person sitting there. And I have the kind of car that will be like, if you don't put your seatbelt on, but it just sounds like ding, 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 ding. Anyway, have you ever taken the time to go a different route on your normal whatever, whether you go to work every day or whether you go someplace else every day? Sometimes I think it's cool to take a different route, and that's what I'm doing today. Lock life. Yes, yes, yes. I am 3 years locked as of July. 3 years locked. Well, I guess technically I'm probably less than 3 years because I started them in July 3 years ago, but a while before they actually locked. But either way, the journey began in July of 2023. I was in Dallas, Texas, and I started my locks. And now I'm back in Jersey, which is my home state. And every day, not every day, but every like week, I tend to have this battle of wills with my locks because I don't want to get rid of them. I love them. I feel like it's the best thing I've ever done to my hair. Not gonna lie, hands down. I've done lots of things. I've done braids. I've done a fade. I've done a mohawk. I've done a perm. I've worn a fro of many different sizes because I've worn natural hair for quite some time. But my fro has gone from a tapered short TWA to a big full blooming fro. But I've never done weaves. I've never been into weaves. That's just not my ministry. Never has been. I probably will never wear a weave, honestly. But anyway, having locks has been probably the best thing I have done to my hair. I love having locks. And for a long time, my mom has had locks. Since I was in high school, she's had locks. But I never wanted to get them for the simple fact that I felt like if I got locks, then me and my mom would literally be indistinguishable. And it's true. Like, if I show pictures to people of my mom, they're always like, wow, you guys look just alike. You guys are twins. Me too. I've had cornrows, afro, box braids, French braids. I look the best in, but never. Okay. Yeah, so I got about 2 years. That's true. I would agree with that. Yeah. But I've come a long way in that short amount of time, to be honest. Like, I started from very short hair, and today it's like, brushing my shoulders. It's not shoulder length. I wouldn't call this shoulder length yet, but it's getting there. And that's the thing. That's what gets me, because I keep wondering if I should even them out, like cut them all so that they're the same length and then continue to let them grow from there. So I vacillate between that and actually starting over again, because I've learned so much from the beginning of locking my hair till now that it feels like I would do a better job at my starter locks if I started them again. So it's definitely something I've given thought to, and like I said, I've gone back and forth between wanting to do. And I just think that if I do it sooner rather than later, it will probably be better, just because it's like the longer you go, I think, the less you want to cut them. I think. But in my mother's experience, I've witnessed her cut her locks multiple times. Like she's cut her hair like 4 different times, and my mom has had booty length locks. Anyway, that's not really what I wanted to talk about, but I love the fact that free will affords us the opportunity to move around, to do things differently sometimes. And today I'm taking the opportunity to drive a different route to work than I normally would. Hey, V-Dub! V-Dub Boogie in the house. He said, my reason is to lock one with God personally and myself. Oh, what's my own reasoning for having them? My reasoning for having locks was simply that I came to a position of, I had always felt like my hair was a form of expression. And I still think it is. But I put less of an importance on that expression being so physical, or being so tied to, I was just talking about this yesterday, being so tied to perfectionism. I have a little bit of a perfectionism kink, and I'll be honest, like, it doesn't serve me. And I've recently, over the past few years, come to realize that. And I think part of my desire for starting locks is tied to that, because I had to take some of the pressure off of myself that comes with being a woman and wanting to present yourself in a certain way. I do believe that as a woman, I should prioritize my appearance. However, because hair is so political for Black people, I wanted to make even more of a statement regarding my Blackness. And I think locks is one of the strongest ways you can do that. Even though locks have become accepted more now than ever, they still remain a point of contention for folks, as well as a very political statement. And so you can call it solidarity with my mom in a way, leaning into the fact that, hey, I do look just like my mom, and it's okay if we both have locks because that makes me look even more like her. But you can also say that I am unapologetically declaring my Blackness and the firmness that I have in being Black. I love being Black. I love that the expression that makes. So there is a multitude of reasons why I started my locks, but I also, it was also a freeing thing. It was also an act of freedom for me, because it was like, you know, every couple of years I was doing something different to my hair. And I had just decided, you know what, instead of doing all this stuff to my hair every couple of years, I've never really been somebody who dyes her hair much. I did in like 2018, I think that was 2018, 17 or 18, something like that. I dyed my hair once, hated it. And then when it was tapered, I went blonde for like a 6-month stint, and then I was like, yeah, no, I'm never doing this again. My hair is actually very light naturally, so I just embrace my natural hair, the texture, the color, everything about it. I am fully embracing it now in its locked state. It's not a kink, beloved. It's called OCD. Welcome to the club, fam. Okay. Hey, Paul. Love my locks. May cut them though. Head back to corporate. Yeah, see, I'm in corporate and I have locks and it's okay and they deal. Sometimes I put them in bantu knots. Sometimes I just wear them freely like this. Sometimes I band them up and wear them like crinkly. You know. I actually this weekend asked my mom if she would put them in two French because I like the way that looks. The first time she did them, the first year ago when my hair was a bit shorter, so they were really tight. Now that they've grown a bit and they've dropped a bit, I wanted her to do it. But my mom's anti-styling locks. She's like a lock purist. She does not believe in barrel twists or anything that people do to manipulate their locks other than retwisting them. And so she declined to put them in braids for me, even though that's what I wanted her to do. I just really like the way that looks. And so there's still a little part of me that is holding on to being able to style my hair, even though it's in locks. There is still that. I still have that. And when I learn how to do it, I probably will go ahead and put it into braids. But I haven't gotten there yet. I'm sure that I'm gonna have a great day today. The sun is shining, and I love that for me. I'm gonna actually stop. I'm gonna stop and get some coffee in a minute. I'm back on the coffee. For years, I had been off the coffee, but I'm back on the coffee. I had some yesterday. I don't drink it every day, but I've been wanting it more lately. I've been craving coffee lately, so I'm leaning into it. For a while when I was working as an editor, I could not miss my cup of coffee every day because when you're on deadline, it's like, damn everything else, you got to make this deadline. And coffee used to help me get to that, meet that deadline. It used to be very helpful for me. But I weaned myself off of coffee, and I haven't been like a regular coffee drinker for probably like 10 years now. But recently, like I said, within the past few weeks, I've been drinking it again. I don't think there's anything wrong with drinking coffee. I just think that it should be in moderation, just like with anything else. I'm gonna tell you what did it. I went to go get coffee for somebody else recently, and while I was there, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna get one for myself. I went to Dunkin', and I saw something on the menu that I hadn't seen before, and that intrigued me. So I was like, maybe I'll get that. They had strawberry cold foam, and I'm not even a strawberry girl. Like, strawberry's not my jam, typically. Like, strawberry flavored things, strawberries themselves, not really a thing. But I saw that they had strawberry cold foam, and I was like, I'm gonna get me an iced latte with strawberry cold foam. And it was banging, y'all. It was so good. And so I've had it like 2 or 3 times since then. And I wouldn't say it has me in a chokehold, but that's where my wanting coffee again came from. Just like, all right, this was really good. I keep doing this because I just tweezed my chin hairs and it's a little itchy. I promise I'm a lady. I promise I'm a born woman. Oh, Oh, look, it's two deer just chilling on the grass in front of the gas station, y'all. Not Probably not the safest place for them to be, but that's where they are. Coffee gets me going in the morning. Shout out to you, UFO Kamikaze. I can always count on you to drop in, drop a like, say something kind. I appreciate that. For all of the fuckery that exists on YouTube, I am so appreciative of the people who are the opposite of that. Shout out to everybody who has some sense and aren't interested in spreading their misery amongst other people merely because they are miserable themselves. Like, shout out to that. Highlight that. And shout out to the people who have gained a sense of enlightenment as a result of going through some shit on YouTube, because I've been there. I ain't gonna say we've all been there, but many of us have. And I'm so proud that I have not allowed it to break my spirit, because, you know, there is no barrier to entry for folks on the internet. Not just YouTube, but the internet, period. There's just no barrier to entry. So you're gonna have people. Oh, what are we doing? You're gonna have people who probably shouldn't be on YouTube but are, because there's no barrier to entry. And unfortunately, those people spew their negativity on others, and that fucking sucks. Y'all hear my keys jangling? I'm parking. Finna go in this Dunkin' Donuts and get my fix, UFO. But I back to spots. I don't pull into parking spots. I back in. It's not what most people do, but it's what Toya does. All right, so I'm not going to bring y'all in there with me to get coffee. So I'm going to go ahead and end the live stream here. But before I do, I want to say shout out to Candy Cane Lane. Shout out to Sexy Red TV. Shout out to Drip Nation, The Plug. Shout out to Shanika. I love what each of those content creators are doing right now. This is not in an effort to shout out to every content creator that I follow or listen to. This is really just an effort to say shout out to them for what they've been doing recently. I rock with it heavy. I love anybody who puts a light on the things that they enjoy and the things that resonate with me. That's it. Nothing shady, nothing gossipy, nothing negative. Just shout out to people who do the things that feel good and resonate with me. Because in this day and age, I think it's really important to be able to appreciate those things that help keep you going and also keep you on the wavelength that you choose to be on. Because there's so many forces that want you to get off of that. There's so many forces that, you know, keep you away from the light. And I'm light. And I want to stay light. I'm going to keep being light. I hope you all have a good day. And if you've been here before, then you know that I like to say one thing at the end of my stream, every stream, and that is peace, ease, and whatever you please. UFO Kamikaze says there's so much beef on YouTube now, it's hard to keep track of who's cool with who. Yeah, I agree with that. It's true. It is. It's hard to keep up with that. But it's also annoying because it's like none of us got on here to beef. I don't think so. I don't think any of us ever came to YouTube in search of problems or in search of contention. But like I was saying earlier, there are some people who really are just hell bent on spreading the misery that they are in. And unfortunately, I don't even think that they realize that that's what they're doing because they're so deep in their misery. And all I can do is wish for them to find a way out of that. All I can do is wish for them to find happiness again and find their light. You know, I haven't lost mine, and I'm wishing you to keep yours. Have a fantastic day. It's Tuesday. We're getting through the week. Not quite over the hump yet, but we're nearing it. So let me know you were here. Let me know you tapped in. Let me know if you got anything nice to say in the comments. Peace.